Hey, what's up? This is GLucak, and you are watching a behind the scenes of how Blared Lenses came together. Let's dive right in. Okay, so first thing I started off with in the synth range was this thing. It's a harpsichord. And then I added some bass right around here. And added a riser in. Unsolo these. So added this riser next. So you got and this is where the fun stuff starts happening. So I added this attack bass right here. And then we start getting into the build right around here. I added a dance lead. And some drums. And of course another riser, because I like my risers. Then we go into the first drop, which starts off with a couple of synths layered together. First this one. And this next one, which you probably hear a little more in the song. And then also have some drums in there, starting with an industrial set. Just a clap, nothing too big. And then also this D&B kick right here that I added. I think I added some, I'm in the wrong one. I think I added a little bit EQ, a couple other settings. I try to leave my synths and drums and stuff as dry as possible, but I do tend to add some things when I want to. So you get this resounding kick. And then without the effects, it sounds something like this, which doesn't have too much bass to it, and thus doesn't have too much energy. So I added some things, and this is what it sounds like, which is what you hear in the song. Moving on to the other drum, I used this to supplement the other clap from the industrial, because the industrial just, I don't think it was strong enough when I was trying to add it in, and so this kind of helped supplement it. And of course you have that bass line from earlier. And you also have another synth bass over here, which I added a couple of distortion plugins and a little bit of reverb too. And so combined with the two synths from earlier. And then you also have some keys down here. Just a little bit of ambient keys to add a little bit of something to it. And some of the loops are a little different just to add some variety to the drop. So on the synths, you can kind of hear it just go from to slightly higher pitch. And you see it a little further down as well from this. And then we go into the little interlude where I rapped on. This is just the instrumental track. I tend to import the instrumental in so that I do vocals later. Then we go back into this dance lead right here. Then we go into also a slightly different bass line from the 62, just a little longer. So that you get that didn't do too much for the interlude around here except added a riser to help me figure out where to rap in. So and then a little bit halfway through the interlude where it starts going with blared lenses, again, you get this dub super saw synth around here. Super cool name, whoever came up with that. It sounds like this. I think I added some reverb there. Oh, wrong one. Again. Yep, some spring reverb, just a little bit, not too much. Let me give you a sample of what that sounds like when you turn it all the way up. Where's the effects? So you don't need too much reverb on there. And then around here, the drums start coming back in. That classic lead up. And then you get that riser again as the drums are kicking up a little bit. And then it goes back into the lead up from earlier, except you have that other synth line. The dun 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 dun. Except at a lower pitch. Now, a lot of what you see on that second lead up is basically the same thing, except that loop that I showed you earlier. For the second drop, I wanted to do something a little different, and so I just did a kick and another kick layered together. Oh wait, no, that's not true. There's a clap in there as well. But you don't hear it as much. So there's a couple of things going on with that. Oh, there is another kick in there. Bear with me, I'm new to this. So you got a couple of kicks in there. Give it a little bit more bump on this second repeat. And then some of the loops from earlier on the first drop. You get that higher loop from the DP5. And the super saw. And that same bass line from before, right around here. So not too much is different except for the 2 kick drums on the second drop. And then when it comes into the repeat, it comes back into the regular drum lines of just this, this, and this. And it's pretty much just some of the same stuff. Just some of the loops are put in a different order, like the middle right here, and then the lower toned one right here. Oh, that is the higher toned one. And then for the outro, just have some of those loops from earlier, like the dance lead one from the drop, or from the ramp. Sorry, can't talk. And some kick drums, along with some kick drums from the industrial. I think those are kick drums. Kick drums and a snare edge drum from the industrial unit. Then you get the bass line, and then the bass line cuts out around here. So you go from that to that. And then it just goes into that final faller, which is just a reversed riser and then a little kick that I added. It's actually a sample from another song that I'm working on. That's pretty much how I made the beat. So I'm going to go into what I did for the vocals next. So when doing vocals, I tend to import the instrumental in, like I said earlier, because that frees up some space for the track so that I have a little better view of what I'm doing. With writing the song Blared Lenses, I was actually experiencing some, some creative mind block, per se. So that's why there's only a little bit of a rap on there. And plus, I wanted to try something out with a DJ type track. And so, for that Blared Lenses sample that you hear in the a lot of the song, I actually had to do 2 tracks for it because one of them wasn't loud enough. And so what I did was I took the regular vocal,
Blared Lenses, Blared Lenses,
which you can hear in this one.
Blared Lenses.
And I took it and I added a pitch shifter to it.
Blared Lenses.
I need to solo that out.
Blared Lenses, Blared Lenses.
So it sounds kind of robotic and cool. And I also added a little bit of distortion to it.
Blared Lenses, Blared Lenses.
And I think with one of the other tracks I didn't add the distortion, kind of to offset it. Yeah.
Blared Lenses, Blared Lenses, Blared Lenses, Blared Lenses.
So that's what I did for those. And then for the lead up to the drop, where you hear that of my vocal, I actually took it and chopped it up. And it took a bit, but I pitch shifted each one up just a little bit. Let's see if it loads. Oh, there we go. Sometimes BandLab takes a little bit to load, so that's why it took me a minute. So this one, I upshifted one. I did these a little more vigorously with 3 and etc. So over here you pitch shift it up or down depending on what you want. I wanted to do kind of a riser type thing with my vocal, so that's why it sounds like this. So that's kind of where you get that alien type vibe with the vocal going up as a riser. And then for the rap, if it will work with me. Oh, here we go. For the rap, I just used a stock plug-in set called Punchy Rap because it helped amplify my vocal enough. Basically what that plug-in is, it's just a compressor and a noise gate. It turned out pretty well, so good setup. So I'm just going to do this set because each one was actually a different volume, so I had to do 3 different takes for it. So with this one, this is what it sounds like with the effects.
How can I pull a spec out my bros? I want a guy planking my own.
And without the effects.
How can I pull a spec out my bros? I want a guy planking my own. I can't judge cause I'm not the judge, and my own problems got me tripped up.
And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, put it in the comments below.